Okay, so what is being discussed right now? I have put in this post that I made today. Then I've got on with the generating of the message, keeping things in perspective. I've done the preamble, which is related to this post I made today. The anchor point is trick done and dusted, 191. And then we have a list of all the word strings which add up to the same number that I have so far on my name to number list. And then I selected shuffled com lists, shuffled them 4 times, copied and pasted them into a document which gave me 461 pages, and my random selection of pages was 391, 222 and 06. So far I have placed all of those random page line entries into the structure of the message. So now I've thought what I'd do is go through the start of it here. We'll put the time in at 08:02. I'll just narrate it from here on in. 08:02. Yep. 08:02 equals 235. Go to the name and number, 235. Here it is. This one's most apt. Penetrate the forbidden zone as opposed to the forbidden zone. So starts off with families, lurking like shadows, unexplained light source. Oh. 554. Add that to my com list. 554. So not a hit. So I will go with 554. 44. Of course, I've got to go back here, don't I? Now that to me is talking about aspects of family. Lurking like shadows means in the shadows, meaning behind the scenes, etc., etc. Unexplained light source, referring to UFOs, which implies extraterrestrials. So there's that aspect of the ET, lurking like shadows, part of the family, part of humanity, even human. In a sense, the extraterrestrial may be more local than we might realise, assuming, of course, they even exist. So, in that sense, there's no need to reach out billions of light years when everything could be related and local and all about and coming from the earth itself, as in perhaps the earth entity mind is creating the illusion, if you like, of creating the imagery of supposed ETs, all based, of course, on different experiences I've had personally. So it's subjective in that way. That's why I'm leaning towards this, meaning that, basically. So if I went to 144 on my list, you have a bunch of oh yes, that was 116. We have quite a bunch there to deal with, so I'll just look through this, see if there's any interconnection with that. I would look at, say, inspiration, real friendship, strange desire, expression, astral pulse. Look closely. What's this word mean? Word meanings. So we get that word meaning in there. And it may be hinting at there. I'll give it that much. But that's just first couple of words in a sentence, basically, of a message. So we could see by the process I'm using, it is somewhat labour intensive and takes time in real time. So there's a commitment there to do the work. $20 times 144 would be 2880. Did I? Or did I not? No, I did not. Copy. Now, 2880, yes. So all of those words there, and I'll put them all in because that's fine, it doesn't matter. But the ones that I'm interested in, I pointed out already: inspiration, real friendship. There's hints of familiarity, if you like, for family familiarity. I'll stick that in there, and then we go to a link. Machines and morality. The small ones that I'll paste it all from the link, quote it, paste. So basically that is saying, right, everything, to my mind, everything does not start with will at all, but with the mechanism which enables will to become. In the case of our recognised will from human consciousness, everything to do with human will begins with human consciousness. Therefore, will is a function of that, which everything to do with human function begins with first having consciousness. Will derives from consciousness, cannot be considered to be the source of everything to do with human expression. Will is an expression of consciousness. It was not will which created consciousness, but consciousness which created will. Okay, so as one does from time to time, elude a blank slate. Yes, elude is not like elude. Elude is to avoid or find a way around. The tabula rasa, or however it's said, is an area I use which in musing on the mother or the fireside stories has to do with the boundary separating one reality from another, or one paddock of reality from another, like a fence, only in this case you're going from world to world. So you go through, you can travel through the tabula rasa, which is an interesting place in itself, and enter in through that mechanism into another reality. A grateful heart, open your chakras, development, growth. Yes, I hear the nature of angels. Now, the nature of angels has come up in here. There, the nature of angels has been talked about already, or it's part of the message already. So it's referring back to the nature of angels, remembering families lurking like shadows, of familiars, and making friends with your mind. Now, this has to do with Jung, however you say it, the psychology involved with the archetypes, the subconscious realm, the unconscious realm, or the subconscious realm that we're unconscious of ordinarily. Making friends with your mind is doing the old Alice in Wonderland thing, going deep, dealing with the peculiarities there. And the Philosopher's Stone deals with my use of glass devices, which I call universal intelligence communication devices, which can be seen, if I can get a quick view of one here somewhere, should be that much trouble. Well, I thought it could be quick, but it's not, is it? Here we go. Well, there's some edges of them. Here we go. This is the device, and I've marked that as the information field here. But the Philosopher's Stone, it's glass, and glass is made out of sand. Sand is stone. So, in that sense, whenever I see the Philosopher's Stone, we're talking about a device that I've used 20 odd years ago now. I first started using these, developing them to use as a means of generating messages. A separate selfishness shining metamorphosis. That's an interesting that there is an interesting combination of words. Separate shining. It speaks to me of the necessity, in a sense, of having to be selfish under certain circumstances in order to make your focus on developing an understanding of the inner workings of oneself, one's psyche, one's connecting with those previous realms of which I was unconscious of. So 300. I've just got to put that in on my list because it has meaning for me. 300. There it is. In the mirror sense, it's got one who does not believe in gods, walk the talk in love, or logophile, which is lover of words. Separate self is shining, so the connection's there. The mirror sense, and that goes back to the image here, which is glass, but it's not just glass, it's also a mirror. It's mirror glass. In other words, the back of the glass has been tinted, silvered, or however they make mirrors, to make the mirror. So I've actually created this object, this communications device, this Philosopher's Stone, on a glass mirror. And these little symbols here, which all represent things, which altogether, depending on where the pointer points, the message then becomes generated. So the use of this mirror connects with what's been spoken about. 3 4s of 12. Oh, did I or not? I don't know. Yep, there it is, 12. Break them down. Doodly-doo-doo-doo. Now the thing about the using of the device to generate messages is in the messages itself, and it did create a metamorphosis within me. The need determines the value. For me, the reason I created the device in the first place was because I was getting no satisfaction in finding answers to my questions by asking other human beings, because the answers were not satisfactory or complete or anything that was very useful. So the discovery of generating messages, which in the generation of the message, in the making of the message, interesting things were revealed to me which helped me to answer the questions that I had. They brought answers to those questions, slowly and surely. It's talking about a dimensional crossover, where probably in that sense I would see it as being the archetypes, again going back to the archetypes, what's within the subconscious. So my conscious is crossing over with my subconscious and vice versa, so this interaction can then take place. And it's faithful in the sense that it's never put me wrong, and it's always helped me understand my situation and my position within the situation. Now I could even take these, of course, do anything really I wanted to within receiving the message, because the important thing about using a calculator in this manner is because it reveals, it helps the communication process, understanding the messages being generated, or adding more understanding to them, or validation, if you like. Yeah, that's probably a good thing. Validation, probably the one. So anyway, I'll put this on my list as well, because it's become meaningful. Copy that there, 789. There we go, we've got a couple in there. Put that one there as well. So 3 times 789 equals 236. Stop that. 2367. 789. Why is it wrong? Why is it wrong is that it does not serve reality to see it as disorderly. Okay. Seems like a bit of gobbledygook, but what it's actually pointing at is that we cannot see reality as a disorderly thing because it does not serve reality to see it as a disorderly thing. And it's got burden of proof, the scientific way to examine verifiable evidence, presumed outcome, metamorphosis, the need determines the value, dimensional crossover is faithful. Getting back to that. So in a sense, what I'm finding in this as a confirmation that use of this, which then developed into the use of this, generating messages in this format using computers, etc., is all science, and it's also an evolution of the science that's been used. It's gone from here to here, which is not a great step in terms of evolution because we're still using like the screen is the glass, is the philosopher's stone in the sense, because that's where the message is presented. The message is also able to be typed or spoken and narrated, normally typed as a narration. In this case, I'm just filming it, so there's verbal narration going on as well, but it's all within the definition of what science is. Science is a matter of using what's available and seeing what the outcomes of these inputs produce. Then go on to another link. The links are good because they validate what is going on in the generated message in real time, and then it's referring back. So in a conversational manner, two people are talking about something, often we refer back to something else as part of the natural generating of messages through spoken word, through communicating face to face or phone to phone, as the case may be. So this is linking is helping with that building of the generated messages and confirming. So in this, we are going back to perhaps machines and morality. The Bible in many places. Have I already done that one? No, I don't think so. It's small though, so I'll grab it. I'll grab the whole thing, paste it from the link. Put it in quotes. Cut and paste that into its position. And get on with it. Best read what I put there. It's easier to read here. The biblical God is one of position. So who am I replying to here? Doesn't say here. But anyway, the Bible in many places speaks of God's will as the thing that acts, that can act. God can do as he pleases, literally meaning God has free will. To which I've replied, the biblical God is one of position. This here is a position. Just because the Bible speaks of a God that acts does not literally mean he does as he pleases or has free will. What the position means is that he can act in a far more impressive manner than those in lesser positions are able to. To be able to act in a far more impressive manner does not itself provide the evidence that the one acting is doing so from a fundamental position of free will, of having free will. One has to operate within the perimeters of the system one is operating in. Okay, and get the gist there. To do with angels, ETs, communications devices, going within as a practical thing to do. Encounters, it is still not clear to me. What would that be referring to? I go back here to make sure that I'm not, have I? Metamorphosis. We have that, the metamorphosis. Faithful encounters. I would put the word encounters here. In fact, I should have even, and probably will at some stage, no, not there, there. I didn't read the message properly all through. I got up to this point, but faithful encounters is part of that. So that would change this a bit, but perhaps it would be interesting to even do that. It would be, of course. Let's just have a look at that. It's now 9:23. I would put the word encounters there because it should be on the list. And I will remove that one from there. But I'm going to leave that on as it is, this here, as it is. I'm just going to do another one. Encounters. I'll just put that in bold. So now we've got 9:23. And 9:23 has one. Oh. So I will just paste that one in there. 9:23, indeed it is. I'll put that there as well. Is there a way in which one can test the hypothesis and in doing so elevate it to an accepted theory? Indeed, which is again getting back to the science of this, the mirror, the da-di-da-di-da, etc., etc. It is still not clear to me. So, what is still not clear? see if the video gives us a hint. Oh, death is not the end. Comes up a lot with that one. The song. I don't. I suppose I shouldn't really do it. Oh, yeah, I suppose I should be respectful to the artist. Secret route that is to do with, for me anyway, the way I understand secret route is this mind-to-mind thing. The connections, the theory that the Earth is a conscious entity and that is connected to all conscious entities to do with the Earth, biological, etc. Then we've got the ghost agenda, which is about consciousness. Basically, consciousness is an invisible thing that we know is real, which is a little bit more than just being a ghost, because the ghost is a sort of invisible thing that we think is real. But we know consciousness is real. At least we know our own consciousness is real. We don't have to assume that every other consciousness is not really real. It's just something my own consciousness has made up. Because you're just sort of branching out. I mean, it's a nice theory and everything. We can go there, and anyway, I've been there myself, but in the sense, it's not overly important. It's fine to allow for every individual to have their own mind and their own subjective experience of a shared reality, which is life on this planet, here in this galaxy, in this universe, etc. The ghost agenda has to do with what consciousness is wanting to do with the experience it is having within the universe, specifically to do with being on this planet in our case. So I think I'll end the video here and I'll continue with this, but just so that it's